Well, first, I'll just say congratulations to Michigan State. They deserved a really hard-fought win. They played well and did what they needed to do. I'm just really disappointed for us. That's a game we let get away. My fault. I should have. I think we made we're tired turnovers at the end, and I failed to give two of our players key. Even a minute or two. In that second half, just a little bit of rest. And I think a few of those turnovers late were fatigue turnovers. We just lost our composure, and that's unfortunate because I thought we played a good basketball game overall. That's the two Michigans we just let slip away here at home, and that's unfortunate because these are both games that we could have won. But we've got to learn from it. It doesn't get any easier in this conference. Now we got to go play at Iowa, who's a really good basketball team. So, but again, credit Michigan State. They were tougher down the stretch than we were and executed a lot better.
Okay. Kind of feel a postseason game almost when you're going back and forth there in the mid-fourth quarter. Other than the fatigue factor that you cite, other lessons you think your team can take from this that in a month or two can help?
Well, the same lesson. We're a good basketball team. I think sometimes we don't realize that or believe it. Sometimes, we can go toe to toe and we can play with anybody. This has been a top 15 program over the last month, right? But we've got to win these close games. We won one at USC, but that's over. We had another opportunity tonight, and it didn't work. But yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Two good teams. Before the game, we talked about, hey, these are two good teams. Whoever plays better tonight is going to win the game. We didn't have to have them have an off night and us have a great night. This was two evenly matched teams, and we played an even game. They had a nice run in the second quarter. We had a great run to start the game, which is unusual for us, right? But something to build on. And just in the end, we didn't get it done.
What was the difference from that first quarter where you guys were just on fire, built that lead, and what happened in the second?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at the film. I just think we started taking some quicker shots. I thought they did a better job. We could never stop them. So it wasn't, at some point you're going to cool off and play to your average, right, to some degree. And we did that a little bit in the second quarter. I thought turnovers, second chance points, we just got to continue to do a better job on the boards. Again, tonight, they got 16 second chance points, was actually, I think, below their average. But that's still 16 points. Missed shots. We did our job, and then we allowed them to get that second chance. So I think probably a little bit of everything in that quarter. Some turnovers. I thought the bench in the first half did a really nice job, and then it was on me. I didn't trust them enough in that second half. I thought the game would slow down a little bit. There would be more timeouts, and that we could withstand it. And I didn't perhaps take into account the level of intensity and other things. And so, that was on me.
Coach, you talked about the second chance points. They had 16 offensive rebounds. What's the message, as you mentioned, going into Iowa, just to pay more of attention on the boards? What's the main message there?
Well, we give it its due diligence in practice. We focus on it. We do everything I think we're supposed to. We just got to do it in the game. That's the bottom line. We just got to. Rebounding is that's a 50-50 ball. It comes down to who's tougher. They were tougher tonight, 16-8 on the offensive boards. And like I said, start of the game, the toughest team will win. And ultimately, through 40 minutes, they were the tougher team. So there's no secret sauce. Everybody has different philosophies on rebounding. Rebounding drills don't make you a better rebounding team. They just don't. My coach taught me if you grew up on this side of town, you're probably a good rebounder, and if you grew up on this side of town, you're probably not.
Can you touch on Sophia Bell's presence beyond the arc tonight?
I didn't hear any of that. I'm sorry.
Can you touch on Sophia Bell's presence beyond
the
arc
I thought
tonight?
she was great. She got off to a great start, hit those 4 early threes, and anything she gets offensively is a real bonus for us because she's our defensive stopper, so to speak. She always gets the toughest assignment. She's got a big heart, man. I asked her a few times if she wanted to come out. She was one of the 3 I don't think we subbed in that second half, and she said no way. And I'm sure if I would have asked the other 2, they would have said the same thing. I didn't. But yeah, Sophia is just an incredible competitor and a really calming influence on us.
You mentioned the fatigue there at the end, but how did you think throughout the game, they play with just incredible pace, even off a make. How did you think you dealt with that pace?
Oh, I thought fine. I mean, we're comfortable playing that way too. So, that was a fun game, I'm sure, for fans to watch. It was well played by both teams and certainly athletic and fast. We just, when it counted down the stretch, didn't make the right plays.
Double-double for Grace on the other side, somebody you're very familiar with. What did she do so well today that worked against the Ducks?
Well, she's a really good player. I mean, she's a relentless worker. I'm not sure how often she scored on her first shot, but she's one of the best players in the country on the second shot. And we didn't do a great job there. But I thought, by and large, we had did a decent job there. She had 6 turnovers, got her into some early foul trouble, but down the stretch, she was big for them. And, I'm happy for her that she's playing so well.